Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your pal Eddie here for another video. In this video I'm going to show you my top 10 horror films in my collection of 1988. Now, before I start, these are just my likings, my preference. Nostalgia has a lot to do with it. If I saw them, throughout the years when they came out and I just rewatched them over the years, they're going to make my list. Now, there's some that I really like that could have made my list. It's kind of hard. But some that I want to mention that could have made my list, some examples. You got Serpent in the Rainbow. This is a very good movie, but it's not a movie that I watched, but I really enjoy it. You got Dead Heat. This is another one that it's got comedy horror. This is another one that I really enjoy, but it's not one that I rewatched so many times. Brain Damage, another great movie that I kind of like. That could have made my list. Maniac Cop. This one is kind of like a slasher. You got Bruce Campbell in it. I really enjoy this one too, but it's not one that I, rewatched so many times. But I really like Maniac Cop. And American Gothic, another slasher that I really like this one too. And it's kind of like a psychological horror. It's got slasher elements, so this is another good one. But on with my top 10, and it's kind of like, remember, nostalgia has a lot to do with it. So again, this is just my list, my opinion. I know yours might be different than mine, but let's start off with number 10, and I'm gonna throw in I'm gonna cheat a little bit, so I'm gonna put a tie at number 10. You got Phantasm 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. That made my list. Phantasm 2, you got the tall man. This is directed by Don Coscarelli. I think I botched his last name. But it's basically about the two characters that came out in the first one, Mike and Reggie. That they discovered that everything in the first film was real, and they're going to try to stop the evil tall man. And Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is basically Freddy comes back. He comes back in this one and he tries to terrorize the remaining dream warriors of the third film. And now that there's this other woman who might be able to stop him, and Freddy, tries to get to her as well. Dream Warriors was probably my second favorite of the franchise. Nightmare on Elm Street 4 is okay. I think it's called The Dream Master, if I'm not mistaken. And it's got the Vinnie Vincent Invasion Love Kills song playing as one of the themes. So yeah, these will be number 10. Phantasm 2 and Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Coming in at number 9, we have Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. So basically, this one is kind of like Jason versus Carrie. Jason meets a girl with these telekinetic powers, just like Carrie, and it's okay. It's not my favorite from the franchise, but it's all right. So it kind of made my list because, again, Friday the 13th, this series is like, it's one that I kind of watched over and over. It's the nostalgia that has a lot to do with it, and I kind of enjoyed it. It's not bad, and it's not the best, of course, from this franchise, but it's watchable. I still enjoy it. And so, yeah, coming in number 9, Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood. Coming in at number 8, we got Monkey Shines. This is directed by George A. Romero, who I enjoy his work. I really like his work. So basically, it's about a man who tries to train this monkey to help him with his paralysis. And the monkey begins to develop rage, and he just goes apeshit. And, against its new master. And it's I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember really enjoying Monkey Shines. So it's a number 8. I gotta rewatch it because it's a real good movie. Kind of creeped me out when I first saw it, as a teenager. And coming in at number 7, we got Hellbound Hellraiser 2. the actress that came out in the original film is back. She plays Kirsty, I think. She's like in an institution because of what happened in the first event. And the doctor that, this evil doctor from the, very obsessed with the occult, brings back Julia, the one that was doing a lot of the killing in the first film. She brings her back. She resurrects her, and they unleash the Cenobites again to the underworld. Like they, Pinhead comes back. I like Hellraiser 2. It's very close to the first one. They're both good. I mean, the first two films they're the best from the whole franchise. The third one is still okay. I don't own the third one, but it's still enjoyable. After that, I don't know. I just didn't get into the Hellraisers anymore. So basically, the first three is really all you need. I need to get the third one. But yeah, coming in at number 7, Hellbound, Hellraiser 2. Coming in at number 6, we have Return of the Living Dead Part 2. That's, it's comedy horror. You got basically like the first one, but this one you got these kids who unleash the barrels that contain that liquid, and they help bring back the dead. The dead comes back, and it's enjoyable. It's a fun ride. I like the soundtrack. Yeah, Return of the Living Dead Part 2 is at number 6. Very good film. All right, coming in at number 5, we got Pumpkinhead, directed by Stan Winston. This is a good one. I love Pumpkinhead, and I recently watched it because I'm doing the 31 days of horror all the month of October, and I recently saw it again, and I still enjoy it. Very good movie. Basically, a man who loses his son due to this tragic accident. So he summons, or like he gets help from this, I guess like a witch, and she is able to awaken this demon called the Pumpkinhead, and he just sets his revenge on the young locals that accidentally killed his son. But I guess he comes to his senses and he tries to stop the demon, Pumpkinhead. I love this film. It's at number 5, Pumpkinhead. Coming in at number 4, we got Child's Play, directed by Tom Holland. I love Child's Play. It's basically about the serial killer who's dying. The serial killer is dying, and he transfers his consciousness by using voodoo to this popular doll that kids are, it's called the Good Guy doll, and people are buying it. And then there's a single mother who buys the doll to her 6-year-old son, and then the doll is trying to show, is trying to begin his true colors, and he's trying to use the son to transfer his consciousness to the son's body or something like that. Child's Play is a lot of fun. It's a franchise that I like. The first 3, they're really good. The other ones they're not as good. Maybe The Bride of Chucky, I think that one is okay, but the other ones are like they're there and hit or miss, But this one is still holds up. I love Child's Play, so that's a number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. Yes, 10 years after the original film, Michael Myers is back, and he is trying to kill his 7-year-old niece, who is the daughter of Laurie, played by Jamie Lee Curtis. Unfortunately, Jamie Lee Curtis is not in this film, but I like this film, and I like the setting. It's really Halloweenish. Like, you see the leaves, the pumpkins, everything about it. As you can see right here, it's very, very Halloweenish. I enjoy Halloween 4. So yeah, it's at number 3. The only thing I don't like is Michael Myers' mask. I wasn't too fond of his masks in these 4, 5, and 6 in these movies. Even H2O, I didn't like the masks. But yeah, the movie's still pretty good. So yeah, it's at number 3, Halloween 4. Coming in at number 2 is actually a remake. But this remake was a blast. talking about The Blob. Yeah, directed by Chuck Russell. So basically it's about this deadly entity, this deadly thing that crashes into this town from like it's coming from space, and it's like it just crashes into this town, and this weird slimy slug, whatever you call it, just begins to consume everyone in its path, and and it's going crazy, and these scientists are the only ones that could try to contain it. You got Kevin Dillon, he's in it, he's got the lead role. Yeah, this is a good one. It's a blast. The practical effects is mind-blowing. It's amazing. Yeah, the Blob. I love The Blob. That's why I have it at number 2. It's the nostalgia, man. I remember watching it, and it's such a fun movie. And coming up at number 1, I didn't expect this, but man, I really love this film. Night of the Demons. God, this is so good. I love this film. So basically, it also takes place in Halloween. You got these teenagers who go to this abandoned funeral parlor, and they're, just having fun. They're going to try to party, but then all of a sudden, like this force, this evil force awakens, and like these demonic spirits take over them. So they're turning each one of them into demon-like, the demons. It's a blast. It's so much fun. I love Night of the Demons. This is, again, nostalgia that it's at number 1. My number 1 movie, Night of the Demons. So yeah, that was my top 10 movies from 1988. And I want to mention something, that this was the only year in 1988 that you had Nightmare on Elm Street, you had a Freddy Krueger, you had a Jason, you had a Chucky, and you had a Michael. I mean, that's unbelievable. This was the only year in the 80s where you had all 4 of them in that year. Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Friday the 13th Part 7, Child's Play, and Halloween 4. I mean, wow. That was the only year in the 80s where you had the 4 iconic slashers that year. But I gotta say, that these other movies like really gave them competition, because I really love Night of the Demons, The Blob, Pumpkinhead, and these are not even slashers at all. The only slashers, were these 4 right here. I mean, and but as much as I love the slashers, but I also enjoy these other supernatural type films, yeah, so I had a fun doing this one. 1988 was a pretty good year. I was in high school. I was either, from January to May of 88, I was a sophomore. And then when school starts again from September to December of 88, I was already a junior. So I was already like 16 years old when these movies came out. And as a teenager, I loved them, So again, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I hope you liked the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what are your top 10 movies from 1988. I'm pretty sure they're different than mine. I had some honorable mentions here that I really enjoy as well, and they're not even slashers. The only 2 slashers are probably these, American Gothic and Maniac Cop. But these are also enjoyable. So, yeah, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and subscribe to the channel if you like physical media, and hit the bell for more upcoming videos. Again, guys, if you want to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, my links are in the description down below. Again, thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.